Oh, sorry, I had to switch vehicles. Now I'm in my truck. Yeah, this is Big Betty right here. Okay, so pretty much we're gonna go into some story time. No, I did not change clothes. No, I'm not trying to cover my shirt. This is the same day, same moment as the last video. However, it's a lot colder in this vehicle because I haven't warmed it up yet. So, and as you see out the window, yeah, that's lovely snow. Welcome to Michigan. But pretty much we're gonna have some story time. I'm gonna tell you about the beginning, where I started, at least as an adult, where my journey kicked off after the wonderful teaching, By the way, you're going to learn throughout this whole channel that I'm a very random person. Like, I'm so random. I'm that person that be like, yeah, such and such, squirrel, and then bring it on back like, yeah, that's me. So if you see me have a random moment, please know I will come back. I might go somewhere else and wander off in the abyss somewhere, but I will come back to whatever I'm talking about most of the time. But anyway, so in the beginning, it's only the Bible, right? In the beginning was the word. No, it's not the Bible. Sorry, Lord. I wasn't trying to be blasphemous. But in the beginning, when I was 18, I came out of a bad relationship, and I'm going to skip the first yada, yada, yada. Maybe one day I'll go to that. It's a different story, though. But pretty much, I had met this guy. He caught me on a good rebound. Oh, my gosh, the best rebound. And I was at the point where, I'm like, I tried everything else, and I'm going to try something new. Like, why not? I got to the point in life that young to I got to the whatever, why not mentality. Like, I went from being this devoted Christian, loving God, not being distracted, to like, bring it on, baby. Like, I just don't know. Like, I just went somewhere else. I really don't even know how to describe where I went, but I was in a dark place. A very dark place, to where, like, if you know me, I eat a lot. Like, I love food. Like, I believe that on earth, it's rehearsal for heaven. In heaven, there's supposed to be like this huge grand feast. So we eat as much as we can because we're practicing for heaven. That's what I'm doing. I'm practicing. I love to eat. I love to appreciate all the fine foods and that everything the world has to offer. As long as it's like not drugs, because, those that take drugs, that's not easy. Like, I tried to get high one time. Yeah, it's not for me. Inhaling is a skill that I will never have. That's another story, another day. Anyway, see, squirrel. Yeah, that was it. Okay, I came back. So, I met this guy, and my friend, she introduced us, and we ended up started talking, and we talked for a while, and sometime, like, I was in the youth group, my brother and my sister-in-law, they were our youth pastors at the time, and, my brother, he's, like, the best person with words. He's very gentle at talking. Like, he can, like, check you in so many ways, and there's no way you can walk away from him mad at him. Like, if you can have a conversation with him and you walk away mad from him, something's wrong with you. It's like a personal issue. And I'm not saying it because he's my brother. I've dealt with him my whole life. He just has a gift. I swear it's like God said, and I hate it because I wish I had it, because then I'd win more fights with my husband if I did, but whatever. So, but my brother, he would tell me, him and my sister-in-law, they had heard some things about the person I was talking to at the time. I'm going to call him Ankles. And in the future, and another story, you'll learn why I'm calling him Ankles. But his name in all of these stories is Ankles. So, to save his, identity. But anyway, so they heard some stories about Ankles. And they're like, maybe, don't have a relationship. Maybe right now just have some friends, whatever. Because this might not be what God wants, And, of course, when you're 18... you know everything. At least I did. I mean, you couldn't tell me nothing. Like, what? My cup was full, overflowing, and it was still filling up as it was overflowing. Like, it ain't need nobody telling me what to do. So, of course, the compassion in me, they heard things about this person's past, or Ankle's past, and, some parts of their present, and they were trying to pretty much warn me, and then my sister-in-law, God had told her some things, that I should have listened to, but, I knew everything, so I didn't listen, and of course, it became the most expensive lesson in life. So, I ended up choosing to not listen, obviously, and I ended up getting put out my house. In the process of getting put out my house, some people were talking some junk, people lying to me. My sister lied on me a few times, and I ended up getting put out the house, and I remember feeling stuck, like, this is some crap. All because I want to talk to this boy. This is not even that bad. Mind you, I was one of those girls that did wait till, she was grown to have sex. But at this time, obviously, it became a factor in the deal, which what made it so hard to walk away, I guess. Because I'm like, we're winning here. He goes to church. Hello, he goes to church. That's a win, right? Like, if he goes to church. Guys don't go to church. Guys do them, they don't do that, at least not the cute ones, at least that was my perception. But here's this, like, he was all right. He wasn't like the worst of the bunch, but he went to church. That was a win, because I don't normally like church boys. I normally hate church boys. If they were cute or semi-cute, they thought they were God's gift to women, and I'm like, no, I don't like you. I like the new breeds. That's probably terrible, because I'm not a predator to newcomers, but man, I just could not stand like those born and raised church boys, because they thought they were better. The ones that did think they were better were the ones that, really were my physical preference, and I believe the Bible does say that God will give the desire of your heart. I'm not shallow, but I want to, like, some point kind of like feel you that way in some way, But anyways, this is not where this story is supposed to go, but oh well, you're gonna hear me out loud. So anyway, so we started talking, and I didn't get up out of my house. And when I got put out the house, my mom was like, I was stuck. I'm like crying, like, man, I have no place to go. I barely got my, like, I just got my GED. Like, I don't have a car. Like, and I'm put out of the house. Like, what am I supposed to do with my life? what the world? Like, I don't have nothing. I don't have a bank account right now because my mom didn't get my job. So, like, what am I going to do? I have a phone. Yeah, I can call someone, but I don't know who I'm going to call because, my dad wasn't really active at that time in my life, So I'm like, dang, who can I call on? Because I kind of burnt all my adult bridges, if you will, So, he, of course, was like, well, you can come live with me. And, for like an 18-year-old girl, that's like, oh, golden. This boy that I like wants me to come live with him. We're about to play husband and wife and live together. And all have this like, yeah, let me tell you, if you have not done that yet, it's a lie. Don't do it. Run the other way. But I didn't, of course. So I moved in. He said these perfect words. He was like, "Let me take care of you." And for me, I'm not a damsel in distress type of girl. I've always liked to work before we got together, I worked 2 jobs. I wanted to be this ambitious woman because my mom was this woman that worked all the time. That was my thing. So I'm like, yes, I'm gonna work hard. I'm like, here now I'm broke. I have no car. Just got a GED because some personal issues happened or personal stuff happened for like the school I used to go to. So another story. But now I'm stuck in a situation where I'm going to lean on a guy and let a guy take care of me. This is beyond me. So of course I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll live with you. So I ended up moving in with him and we stayed together for about 6 months. And of course it does not take long when you're reckless, and we were pretty responsible, in our activities. That's a nice way to put it in case there's younger people watching in our activities, so we were pretty responsible in our activities. And then about 6 months into it, boom, I'm like, you know what? Something feels weird in my body. Something is wrong. And that was early too. It was like, I was only a couple weeks. Like, but I knew, like, innocent, something is not right because I am like clockwork, So, of course, I'm looking to call my homegirl Whitney because she's my best friend for like ever, like my entire life. So I'm like, I'm trying to call, and I couldn't get a hold of her for some reason. And it was like a stormy day in Flint. Like, oh my gosh, stormy day. So like, freaking out. I don't have a car. He's at work. I don't want him to know because I do not want to be that girl that ends up, the guys could say, ooh, she trapped him. Because my mama showed me you can carry it by yourself. So I was going to carry it by myself. So, but of course, he ended up coming home early from work. Oh, story of my life. Early. Why today? Of all the days you want to come home early, why today? You don't ever come home early. But he came home early that day. So I'm like, all right. He's like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, nothing. I'm just trying to, he caught me. That's what it was. He caught me walking across the street because we had a superstore across the street from us. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, he's like, what are you going to the store for? I can just drive you. I'm like, no, it's okay. I want to go by myself. I just want some time to myself. He's like, are you mad? I'm like, no, I'm not mad. He's like, well, what's wrong? Why can't I drive you? What are you trying to hide? Like, what are you trying to hide? I'm like, okay, I should have thought that he knew what I was going because he knew he did something. But that didn't take to me because I was young and I was dumb. I thought I was being clever, trying to be sneaky, going to take the test by myself. So he ended up driving me across the street because it was raining. That probably didn't help either because it was like storm and rain. Like I probably would have got electrocuted crossing the street walking, which is like But anyway, so he took me to the store, and I ended up getting my pregnancy test, and I came back, and when we got back, the power went out. I mean, when I say this is the most theatrical day of my life, this was the most theatrical day. Theatrical for no reason. So the power goes out. Now it's dark. And we live in an apartment where the bathroom, or we lived in an apartment where the bathroom had no windows. So we're in this bathroom. We're chilling in this bathroom. And what did he do? Oh, he's got a flashlight. He grabbed some flashlights when we're at the store. So I'm like, all right, now he wants to stand in there with me while I pee. I don't know why I didn't think he was trying to see if I was lying or not. But I'm like, all right, whatever. So he's like flashlighting me while I'm peeing. Who does that? But whatever. So I'm peeing. Well, honestly, it was kind of helpful because then I didn't miss. Who wants pee on their hand? That's just gross. But anyway, so I pee in this cup because I don't trust that my aim would have not have ruined the rest of the test. So after I did my whatever, we set the test down. We put the stuff in and we wait. So he turns the light out. Do you think he talked throughout that any of that process? No. And he had this thing he did. He always does it. It was his thing. He was a thumb sucker. I know. Don't judge me. I was in a dark place in my life and I overlooked it because we don't judge people. We just love everyone. So of course, so he's sucking his thumb. I can just hear him. I'm just like, you're not gonna talk? Like, I'm uncomfortable too. Like, you're frustrated. You have nothing to be frustrated about because your body's not gonna change. It's me, if this is true, But he didn't talk. He was just like, and he was like sitting, like, yeah. So anyways, he's sitting there, he's sucking his thumb, and finally time was up. We check it, and sure enough, it was positive. It was 2 glorious, glorious lines. I was like, oh crap. What the world am I gonna do? And growing up, my thought of how a guy will respond when he got to have a baby with me, not that I was some perfect person, but when you watch like movies and stuff, you see guys, oh, I love you, oh, this, and they're all happy and like, everything. Do you think I got that? No, I didn't get a lick of nothing of the sort. He saw that test and was like, what the, I don't cuss. You're going to learn that too. I don't cuss. But he said, what the F? And I was like, oh, did you just? He did. Yes, he did. It was very disrespectful, but I didn't know how to feel. I really didn't. He just said nothing after that. He just kind of set it down and walked out. Not like walked out the room. He walked out the apartment. Like, it was gone for 5 hours. Like, 5 hours. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Of course, when you hear about being pregnant or anything that could change your emotions back then, or in those type of situations, automatically, oh, it's my emotions, so now I'm extra emotional, now I'm crying. I'm like, oh gosh, love me. And you know what? Skip him, I should have said. But no, I was like heartbroken. I was devastated, so I called Whitney, and I'm like, Whitney, I'm pregnant. He left, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like losing it. So then finally he comes back, he sits down, and he's just like this, and he sucks his thumb, he's this, and he sucks his thumb, he's just like, oh, like he just couldn't get himself together. I'm like, you was gone for 5 hours. You should have got yourself together then. Now you want to come back? Inside, I was saying that. Back then, I wasn't that ballsy because I was the nice version of me. This is the revised version of that one. So, and he comes again, he's like, you know what? We can do this. We're going to do this. We're going to work this out. I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking everything's going to be loving and awesome, right? Right? That's what you would get out of that statement. No, that wasn't what happened. Like, literally went to sleep, woke up, and he was like a new man. Like, same body, same thumb sucker, different man. Like, he went from like ankles to like Grinch ankles. Like, he was just grumpy. Mind you, we only been together for 6 months. Yeah, we moved a little fast. Yeah, I moved in too quick. Yeah, we got pregnant when we shouldn't. We shouldn't have been doing what I was doing, but it was what it was. That was part of my journey, But he worked a lot. When I got about 5 months, he proposed. And it shocked me because I was like, mind you, I just threw up. It was not a cute moment. It didn't make sense. I'm like, and you had already been disconnected up until this point in our relationship. Like, when we got pregnant to 5 months in, like, to the 5th month of the pregnancy, you've been like disconnected. So I'm like, this don't add up. But I'm like, I'm optimistic, I can look over things. So he was like, I'm gonna turn this light on because it's getting kind of dark in here. So he was like, will you marry me? It wasn't like a super sweet thing. But he was like, will you marry me? We no ring or nothing. But I'm like, maybe it was spontaneous. You know, maybe it was one of those spontaneous loves moments where he just looked at me and knew, because I just threw up. So that had to be what it was, right? Like, that's what I was thinking. It had to be it, because who proposed someone after they throw up? That's just not cute. That ain't sexy, you know, whatever. But he did. So it was like, yeah, blah, blah. So he left and he went to get some food, I think. I can't remember. But when he did, I'm like, mama, back when like MySpace was it. So I put on MySpace. He proposed to me by my Kelly Price. That was my girl. I love that song. You know, and I'm like, he proposed. You know, you ain't gonna hear that because I sound terrible right now. My voice is raspy. But I'm like, Mom, he did, blah, blah, blah. And she's all, okay, congratulations. You know, and periodically she was like, are you sure? Like, are you sure? And, you know, one day if you guys ever get to find out who he is, you're gonna ask me, were you sure? Like, were you sure? Like, I don't know. I was in a dark place. But you know what? One thing I did want for my kids, I never wanted my kids to grow up not being able to say, hi, Mom, hi, Dad. That was hard. That was rough for me. I wanted them to be able to wake up and say, hi, Mom, you know, hi, Dad, you know, in the morning. Because my friends, their dad, my friends could do that with their parents. And that was something I always wanted. So I wanted to give that to my kids. So I was like, irregardless, all these red flags, you know, him having these moments, whatever, you know, I didn't give in because I wanted them to have that. Oh, there was another part I missed. So before the 5th month, before the proposal, I went to church with him. He went to a different church than I did. We had switched churches to the one he grew up at. And the church we went to, or the church he went to, he was like, I want you to be my mentor. She wants to meet you and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I finally get to start meeting, you know, where you're from, which honestly, I guess if now's not the better time, I don't know what is, because now we're stuck together. You know, so we go to lunch with this lady. And, you know, she was polite, you know, and she was cool at first. And we're talking. Well, the food comes out and it's nice and hot. We're about to like smash. I swear, it was like, as soon as that came out, it was like, let's dive into what this is really about. So she starts talking to me about my options. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean my options? I'm like, I'm thinking you're trying to get to know who I am, so I can know who you are and what, you know, how you're protective of him. That's what I expect from like a mentor or a mom or anything like that. You know, trying to find out what my intentions are. I expect something like that. I can handle that because, you know, that's what I want to do if I was a mom. You know, I want to know, you know, the thoughts of the person that my kids are going to be with, or people that I'm mentoring, you know, that I love like minds, you know, and that wasn't what she was like going for. She was like, so have you weighed all your options? Sorry, my hair is ratty. She was like, have you weighed all your options? I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, you have 3 options. And I was like, for what? Like, now for me, I'm like, I really had honestly, I was like dumb as dirt. Like, I had no clue what she was insinuating. Because one, she's a church lady, supposedly. So I'm like, and I know, like, if they believe like me, anything beyond keeping it is like a big no-no because it's just not what we believe, right? So she's like, well, there's the option of adoption. And she's like, of course you keep it. She's like, but there's also, you know, the other option. I'm like, well, I want to set this record straight, and I'm going to set this record straight. My goal is not to trap him. Honestly, I understand he's a bright guy. You know, he's got a whatever future. I'm not trying to interrupt that at all. He can choose to be a part of the baby's life, or he can choose to leave the baby's life. I'm not about child support. I'm not about trapping nobody. This really wasn't a part of my description either because I have a completely different focus of what I want to be and, you know, for my future. So trapping a guy on some child support really ain't my thing because child support don't really give nothing no way. I'm sorry. I don't really desire to live off a guy forever. You know, that's just not me, you know. So she kind of got a little huffy and a little irritated. So at this point, I'm boiling. Now I am actually hormonal, like for real. I don't know if you can blame it on my woman, like there's too much estrogen fighting back and forth between me and her, or the fact that I just felt like, how can you call yourself Christian or anything of the sort and tie God to it and then ask me if I want to have an abortion? You got me messed up, but whatever. So I didn't like her very much. And mind you, like, we're at this lunch. I'm the only person that's the outcast. It's like me, her, him, and his cousin, and 2 of his homeboys. Now, they're all her little minions. Like, not like people. They're all people that she mentored at some point or up until this point. And then I'm this outcast person. I don't care that you think that you're going to gang up against me. I'm a very strong-willed girl. Don't get me messed up. I'm very nice. I'm very sweet. I smile all the time. but I can defend myself when necessary. So, of course, we kind of got into it. And then I go in the car, and then he comes and he's like, he didn't defend me. He didn't apologize. So we get home, and I'm like, look, I don't know what your thoughts are in this whole situation or how this all turned out, but you don't have to do this. This is not something you have to not. I won't. I'm finding you for child support. I won't chase you down. My only thing is, if you choose to be a part of the baby's life, be consistent. We don't have to be together just because we're having a kid. If this is what you choose, we don't have to. I think maybe that's why he proposed, because he proposed after that, you know. But I was like, but if you do want to be part of the baby's life, be consistent. That's my only requirement. Like, that's the only expectation I got, period. Like, period. So, of course, after that, you know, my dad was coming over, and he's like, look, I understand this, like, but you do not have to do this. You do not have to be with him. You do not, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, look, no, you know, like, we're having a baby, you know, God lets everything happen for a reason. This is how I'm rationalizing this in my head. Because, you know, that's what we do, right? Like, when we run into, like, stuff and we put ourselves in situations, we start to rationalize it and tie it into God's will somehow. It was our choice, but we tried to find the positive. So we like to say it's like the optimistic version of God's will. I don't know, whatever, of the situation. So, of course, sorry, I gotta turn the car on, tell him to kill my battery, because that would not be cool. So anyways, he was like, anyway, so time goes by, we ended up getting married, and you'll see what happens next in the next video. I didn't really know when I was going to cut this one off, but this is a long story, and I put that all in this one. You guys will be like, why did she make such a long video? So you can watch it next time. Love you guys.